Mercedes-Benz India headquarters and plant at Chakan outside Pune. There's thousands and thousands of kilometers ahead of me. Mercedes-Benz today has a wide range of SUVs. And the GLA is just the latest addition to our SUV portfolio. It's taking off in India. It's a very successful product. I think it will be a great opportunity to showcase not only to India but to the world what this car can do. Six continents, more than 20 countries. We get to introduce you to different places, fascinating people, and some really rich cultures. And joining me all through that will be this car, the Made in India GLA, along with his big brother, the GL, that are going to be with us right through this journey as we get ready to take on the world. So our massive journey has begun. What a journey it's going to be. And over the next 6 months, on the great overland adventure, with me will be Bala, Dhruv, Sirish, Ishan, and Usuf.
Exploring different countries, crossing different borders, mountains, deserts, you name it, and it's all going to be there.
The memories that you are able to create, the stuff that will stay with you for the rest of your life.
You have to remember that you're driving a right-hand drive car in left-hand drive countries.
It's going to be challenging.
The Made in India GLA and GL will cover almost 60,000 kilometers from Chakan in Pune to Istanbul in Turkey and then across 13 countries in Europe on many miles of smooth highway. Through the sands of the Sahara in Morocco on the old Paris-Dakar route, from the east to the west coast of the United States of America on the Cannonball Run, through the Andes in South America on the Pan American Highway, on the Great Ocean Road in Australia, and finally on the ASEAN Highway through Myanmar back to our homeland, India. There's also a tremendous sense of responsibility. I mean, nothing like this has ever happened out of India before. A lot of people say we're completely crazy to even take on such an endeavor. But you know what? You've got to be a little bit crazy, I think, to be able to pull something like this off, and you've got to follow that dream. You bet I'm excited. And along with that, there's also a tremendous sense of pride. After the flag-off in Chakan, Dhruv and Bala took over the steering wheel from me. The cars travelled via air freight to Istanbul in Turkey at the cusp of Asia and Europe. And the first thing the boys did was, well, head for a little bit of a makeover.
For stage 2, the GLA going in for like a beauty treatment here at the decal place. can be intimidating and you have so many colors around it, I'm sure we'll get noticed on the road all the time,
I think the finishing touch is the Indian flag.
Yeah,
So we will be flying the flag very proudly.
I think we should start heading out and let the adventure begin. We've just been patiently waiting all day for this, get behind the wheel and actually explore Istanbul.
Yeah, I mean, people are excited when they're going for weekend road trips. We're going for a 6-month road trip.
Yeah.
So I think it's time for us to hit the road.
yazdın mı? Evet. 14. Medine Paris.
They need to put the license plate in. So he's like, where did you come from?
Nobody knows our country as India. Everybody here in Turkey still believes it is still Hindustan. They probably think, we're still in the ancient times, but not bad. Hindustan is actually a quite nice name. Bharat is also not bad, actually. Dhruv?
Yeah, I think it's the relic of the Silk Route. So therefore, we're still known as Hindustan.
Finally, we're getting to go to the hotel, doing some driving around Istanbul city. Looks very pretty in the night.
We also have to get used to driving these right-hand drive machines in parts of the world which will predominantly be left-hand drive. In other parts of Western Europe, there's a lot of order on the streets, and Istanbul isn't like that. So it's a good place to start because it makes us feel a little bit at home as well. Very, very, very excited to finally be on the road and to finally get the GLA adventure going.
Quite a vantage spot we've got here, right?
Yeah, we've got Hagia Sophia back there. We've got the Grand Mosque, the Blue Mosque right in front of us.
Yeah.
And it's pretty cool that they're both face to face. So Hagia Sophia means Church of Divine Wisdom. And apparently it was the largest cathedral in the world for 1,000 years. 1,000 years is a long time.
Yeah. And even when it was changed as a mosque, you can see the kind of, still reminiscence of the church design and the architecture, right? There's so many mosques here, you can mistake each other for the Blue Mosque, the famous Blue Mosque, and that's the one behind us. So I think we should go check that one out because that one looks like the most grandest of the lot, really, right?
Yeah, definitely looks the largest and most important of the lot.
So the grand project of Sultan Ahmed II was the 400-year-old Blue Mosque with its magnificent 6 minarets, and is interestingly also considered one of the seats of Islam in the world.
The domes are interesting. I've never seen so many domes in one mosque, right?
Yeah, and at all these different levels.
Yeah. But why is this the most important mosque?
I mean, I think they said that the purpose of this mosque, they built this mosque to sort of emphasize the power of the Ottoman Empire. They faced a defeat against the Persians, and post that they wanted to stamp their authority, so they built this massive mammoth mosque.
So this is where all the tourists really converge, right? You see the kind of people walking around the streets,
Yeah, I mean, the fact that there are tourists here is not unusual. There have always been tourists, but I think the selfie and the selfie stick is the latest addition to all tourist attractions.
Yeah, and you got your first selfie with me.
Well, Bala, it's a privilege, my first selfie with you. The Great Overland Adventure is not just a drive, a journey across continents. It's a collection of experiences, memories, pieces of a planet in a GLA. It's about leaving imprints of India behind in every country, every city, and well, at least on one wall in Istanbul. On a busy street, Erbil, Istanbul's foremost street artist and creator of an app for contemporary street art, does just that. The route the cars will be etched, not for eternity, but at least until someone decides to wash it away.
This is a really famous car repair area in Istanbul, so I've been drawing some cars here. As
Okay.
a complimentary.
These look like the ancient Morris Minors and the Volkswagen Beetle, but we've got something a little bit more sexier, I think. You know, it's
yeah,
the
this
GLA,
is
this is a
very
Mercedes-Benz GLA. Yeah. Can you get something like this to, you know, probably get inspired or something like that?
Yeah, I
with
will
the kind of
try.
angles,
Maybe I can turn one of them into that one more.
the kind of design. Yeah. All right, good luck. I want to see this color change completely. Yeah. How do you think? What do you think of my parking spot?
What are you up to, Bala? You breaking the law again?
No, this is legal. And he does this for a living, so I'm guessing he knows the right authorities. So we shouldn't be in any trouble. But, you know, just keep your key just in case we need to run away.
I like the magenta, so I like the direction that he's going in.
So I was going to already make the windows sky color.
Okay.
So I'm shaking it up a little bit first to let it to work. Yeah, and for example, like this one, with that kind of stuff, you can help me out filling it in as well, the windows.
So I'm in charge of the windows. You want to try the other window, the smaller window?
That's a crash waiting to happen. So let me start by congratulating you because there's street art and then there are masterpieces. I think what you've created here is a masterpiece.
No, I think you're specifically referring to our masterpiece and the rest of it is...
I'm ignoring that bit. Luckily, it's overshadowed by the beauty that you've created. We're happy to see that.
But you see a lot of classic cars on this. Is that something that you designed when you went in for something like this?
Yeah, it usually depends on the place that I'm painting the walls. This is now we are in Atatürk Otosanayi, which is the most famous car repair area in
Say that again?
Istanbul. Atatürk Otosanayi.
Okay.
Atatürk car repair area, that kind of
All right.
place. So everybody here is like related to cars somehow. So usually the broken cars come here, but these ones are the cheerful cars.
Nice. So lots of bright colors.
Yeah.
What is the name of your studio?
It's Bitti Gitti in Turkish, but done and gone in English. So it's like now it's done and we will be gone. So
Brilliant. But the art will stay.
yeah.
So day 2 of the GLA adventure has been fairly eventful. And if day 2 is anything to go by, at least what we saw today, I'm expecting that the GLA adventure is just getting started, warmed up, and the next few days is going to be a lot interesting.
So start of day 3 in Istanbul, and we're heading to the Istanbul Park Grand Prix circuit, and really looking forward to getting the GLA out on track and checking out the Istanbul Park Herman Tilke designed F1 circuit. It'll be nice to get it out on the track and finally get going a little bit faster than what we're doing right now, which is really crawling speed. Some of the older European circuits like Spa and the Nürburgring and some of the others that have a lot of character, but they haven't lived up to the demands of modern F1 racing in terms of runoff areas and spectator-friendly and all that. But this is sort of built somewhere in the rolling hills outside Istanbul, so hopefully we'll get some elevation changes.
And I also believe some of the turns are inspired by the other racetracks.
Yeah.
You know, given the kind of popularity that it was among the drivers, all the drivers used to rate it quite highly, and you know, it's quite a shame that it still doesn't have that Formula 1 racetrack. But we're going to get our cars, so let's go get a closer view of the track and with the race control guys.
Istanbul Park, I have to say, completely blew me away. It far exceeded my expectations. It had elevation changes. It had blind corners. It had flowing corners. It had, of course, turn 8 with its 4 apexes. It had long straights followed by nice flowing bends with elevation changes. There was like a reverse Laguna Seca corkscrew, which was great fun. And the GLA handled everything that was dished out to it.
So Istanbul Grand Prix coming to an end, and you have Dhruv in the GLA coming in at the final lap. The final turn is here, and he's going to get through the checkered flag in super style. The GLA is looking good. The headlights are all on. And Dhruv Bell is the winner of the Istanbul Grand Prix. This felt like a lot of fun, and the GLA did pretty well. I was pretty impressed. But you were pushing it. You were really pushing it. You didn't care really too much.
What better way of running it in than at Istanbul Park and getting it ready for the adventure that lies ahead. But I mean, it's a beautiful circuit. I have to say, it's a really, really beautiful circuit. There are three kinds of machines that interest automotive journalists. Machines for the consumers, legends born and raised, and the ones lost in the history books. The logo of the deer from the Hittite Empire that existed some 4,000 years ago in Anatolia, Turkey, represents one such machine. The Anadolu, Turkey's first domestic mass-production vehicle, produced for just 20 years between 1966 and 1986. Few escaped the junkyard, and this one has a proud 19-year-old owner. Starts right up.
Yeah.
Apparently we have a reverse H pattern here where I've got first that goes down here. So look. Reverse.
Pull up, pull up.
Alright folks, take it for a spin. I'm not going to say it's the most finely engineered machine ever to be produced, because it's not. But just the fact that you've got a young enthusiastic guy like that who's keeping this car on the road for whatever it's worth going is saying something. So these old cars, you need to sort of form a relationship with the car, and you need to get some kind of an equation with the car, as opposed to a modern car where you just jump in, turn the keys, put it in park, and carry on. So it was kind of interesting to get into an older car and get a feel for things.
Job well done, Dhruv.
Well, thank you very much. You gave us the opportunity to try out your precious gem out here. Thank you. This is, of course, a long journey. There's a lot of camera equipment. There's a lot of other gear that we're carrying. There are a lot of people involved in this shoot, so we need a little bit of extra space. So we're going to be taking the GL to a workshop to fit a roof box. We've managed to track down a place that can give us a roof box, a nice aerodynamic Thule-like roof box that we're going to fit on the top of the GL and give us a little bit more storage space and a little bit more utility for the rest of the journey. I mean, it's got to be pretty useful, right? It takes 420 or 410 liters worth of cargo. It only weighs 18 kilos. It takes 75 kgs worth of luggage. Okay, so we've had a pretty octane-fueled day 3 in Istanbul, and I unfortunately have to bid them adieu and say goodbye for a brief period of time. Which is a bit of a shame, but Ishan picks up where I'm leading off. He flies in early tomorrow morning. The crew's going to pick him up from Istanbul airport and head straight out. In the meantime, I wish them all the best. Godspeed, be safe, and we'll see you again soon.
So we're at the airport. Ishan should be around here somewhere. So there's Ishan. This. You're going to be driving the GL, the big monster there.
Perfect.
And leading the way. So
perfect.
It's an important moment because
yes,
this is all of Istanbul that you're going to see. So
yes, I know. Finding space.
So day 4, finally we're leaving Istanbul, and it's a city that promises so much. It kind of relates a lot with the Indian taste in terms of food, the kind of people that you meet, very, very hospitable people. So it's a little sad leaving that city, but yeah, it's a long road trip, so we're going to be doing lots of, cross country. And the first one is coming up now. We have Plovdiv in Bulgaria that we're crossing over to. And interestingly, the border crossing is the busiest border crossing in Europe and the second busiest in the world.